Ladies and gentlemen, today is really a big pleasure. Now I am speaking with Santha Kumaran. Hi Santha, how are you?
I'm very good. Hi Greg.
Thank you very much, Santha, for having this great idea and starting this collaboration between cxasia expert and the CX Goalkeeper. I am really thrilled that we agreed to start this journey together, this game together, and we want to score a lot of goals together. And therefore, let's kick off. Could you please quickly introduce yourself?
My name is Santha Kumaran. I'm the founder of CX Expert Asia. CX Expert Asia is the leading customer experience experts community in Asia. We brought people from all over the Asia into the community, and we are looking into creating a level playing platform for Asian experts to play at the global market.
Thank you very much, Santha. And I know that in Asia, soccer or football is not so well known as in Europe, but don't worry, I will try to explain that to you and to all the audience in a really simple step that you can understand that and you get also enthusiastic about it. But now it's really about scoring some goals together. Why we are doing that? We had an idea, and the idea is I will ask a question to Santha, and Santha will provide us a short answer, his thoughts about one topic. And the idea behind that is that we would like to create a discussion, to kick off the discussion in Asia about customer experience, the importance of customer experience, and how we can create fans of the businesses that you are working in and you are delivering your jobs. Because at the end, if we think about fans, and our friend James Dottings, how he is explaining that, fans are loyal, recurring customer. And I think every business is looking for loyal, recurring customers. And this is exactly the same like in soccer or in football, that the fans, even if the team lost the match, then the fans are spreading a positive word of mouth. They are defending the business. Fans are spending a lot of money to buy the cap, to buy a t-shirt, to buy the merchandise of this team. And think about how much it costs a ticket to watch a game. I take an example, Germany, the normal match, it costs roughly 90 euros or $90 for 90 minutes. We are speaking about $1 or €1 for each minute. And therefore, also in soccer, in football, we are in the experience business. And therefore, I am really thrilled to kick off this discussion. Santha, the first question for you, it's the easiest one, or the most difficult one, depending from the point of view. What is customer experience from your point of view?
Customer experience is about, probably my favorite quote is, bridging the gap between your customer's emotion and your company's vision. So you have a vision for your company and you have your brand promises and what's the perceived values of your customers. So in customer experience, what we do is identify the gap and close the gap continuously.
Nice. Identify the gap and close the gap. And perhaps also based on what you are saying, why is customer experience so important nowadays?
If you heard enough about Blue Ocean strategy 15 years ago was the in thing. The last 10 years is all about innovation. Moving forward, next 10 years will be customer experience. Customer experience is the next level of Blue Ocean and also innovation. So if you're not embarking now, you're going to miss the boat.
And perhaps also trying to understand what is this Blue Ocean. Could you please elaborate a bit on that? Because perhaps not for everybody is clear.
Blue Ocean is creating a niche for yourself. Like you and me, we've created a niche for ourselves, a customer experience. You stick to that. You come out of that normal competition in the market, normal consulting or training business. So we've created a niche for ourselves, and you become specialists in that niche. Then create your own market for your product and services. That is Blue Ocean.
Thank you, Santha. I think you mentioned that customer experience will be here and really important for the next 10 years. I will use 3 words and I would like you to comment on that. First was the product, then it was about the price, and now about experiences. Could you please comment on these 3 words?
Okay, product, price, and experience. I have to talk about loyalty first. People used to be very loyal to brands, but today people are loyal to platforms. If I buy from Lazada, I stick to Lazada. I find it very hard for me to switch the platform. So price and also product and price is secondary, where for me that entire experience is first. So how your customer perceive that value that comes with the price that they pay. Rule of thumb is they need to get 2.5 times greater value from the price that they are paying, then they'll stay with you.
Thank you, Santha. Perhaps also a short comment on that. I think also important in this discussion, product, price, and experience is if you start to fight with other businesses on the price, you know in which direction the prices will go. They will go down. And therefore, you as a business, you will have an issue. Absolutely. If you start fighting about the product itself, nowadays it's extremely easy to copy a product and replicate it quite quickly. Within one night, you can replicate roughly everything. And therefore, if you want to stand out in the business, then you need to focus on experiences, because experiences are difficult to replicate and they are also linked to your brand, to your values. And I think this is exactly the point where we should start thinking about the real boss in business. And the real boss in business is the customer, because he decides to buy from you or not. I think what changed over time in the last year about thinking about the customers?
Customers' perception has changed tremendously the last 1 year, especially after the pandemic. People are very online centric. It's easier for me to do business online than driving down to an outlet to buy something. And also, since it's online, customers are online centric, their mindset is very much attuned to online platforms. So they want everything to be easy, fast, and convenient. So when they come to brick and mortar businesses and they have to wait, it's okay for customers to wait for 30 minutes for a pizza in an outlet, but not online. They can't even wait for 7 seconds online. So they want everything to be fast, easy, and convenient.
That's true. And fast, easy, and convenient. And what I would add, it's also emotional, because if you can start creating a relationship with your customer, then at the end, you have this relationship, and then the customer start coming back to you. We all know that customers are extremely important. And I think everybody is speaking about customer centricity, about customer experience. Some people are already speaking about what it's about next, but we want to be here and now, and therefore also add value to the great community of CX Expert Asia. What is the role of a customer experience professional?
The role of customer experience professional is to identify who are your customers first, the business that you're in. For me, CX always starts with marketing. You have to do a thorough market planning, market research, get that market intelligence report. From there, identify who are your customers, and also identify who are your competitors, who are your competitors' customers, and what are your competitors' customers' pain points. It starts there. So you start to resolve your competitors' customers' pain point. Eventually, they will come to you. Okay, that's one thing. And second thing, from there you move to the entire marketing spectrum, branding, marketing, social media management, and everything. And if you're in a conventional business, it involves sales, very much on sales, operation, the quality of your product, CRM, customer relationship management, after sales service, customer success, and also social media management. So if you are embarking in customer experience transformation, you have to look into all these aspects. It's not only about customer service or marketing, it covers the product, the quality of the product as well.
Thank you, Santha. And perhaps also to create value and really to understand that there is always one big discussion. If you are a CX professional and you are working in a corporate job, then you say, I am alone, perhaps with 2-3 additional employees, and we are trying to drive customer experience. And we are working for a company that it's 2,000, 10,000, 50,000 people. And that's not possible to control, monitor, help, support, create this customer-centric transformation. And therefore, to the customer experience professional role, what, from your point of view, what are the important tasks that a customer experience professional performs or should perform on a daily basis?
Customer experience team should be out of the equation of the company. They shouldn't be a department. They must have play a bigger role, where they must have access to every single department, every single business unit of an organization. For me, basically, they should be the watchdog. They should not be doing the actual physical work, meaning go to customer service department, training them and everything. They should be the mastermind and business model innovation unit to look into all the areas of the touch points that customers are interacting with you, coming in touch with your organization. Continuously do research to identify where's the gap, what are the gaps with existing customer, and also the customers who left you without your knowledge. Because we know 80% of customers will leave your business when they are not happy doing business with you. Go and find all these customers, find out why they left you, and improve the gap that you have in your organization. And you must have the power to walk across to any department in the organization to tell them that the way you're doing this is not the right way to do the business. Let's work together. Bring them to the table, the drawing table, redesign the processes, the end-to-end journey, and work on it again. So it's a very big task. So if you're working in a department and it's not a departmental work, you have to branch out, you have to reach out to the entire organization. So customer experience team shouldn't be a department. It should be something bigger than that, greater than that.
Thank you, Santha. I think what you're saying, it totally makes sense, because at the end, customer experience professional or customer experience team are trying to push water uphills, because it's extremely difficult. It's always, you need to fight to get budgets, to get funding, and you want to focus on customers. And therefore, one question that come to my mind is, let's I think a real example. A company needs to save money, and the first place that we're looking at is let's reduce the number of people working in the customer experience team because of this and because of that. Nobody says, for example, let's reduce the number of people working in finance or working in the human resource department. From your point of view, why does it happen?
Because you can't see quick results from customer experience department. The result may be 6 months or 1 year later, and it's very hard to produce immediate result within the organization, because this is what I will take a classic example of Amazon. Amazon's business model was built on customer experience entirely, and today he's one of the richest men in the world. So customer experience will put your business in the map. There's no two ways about it, but you have to trust in the process, believe in your people, give them time to prove that the model will work.
I think what you're saying totally make totally sense, because at the end, customer experience is also focused on long-term results, but companies expect short-term results. And therefore, the question that I have is, how is it possible to convince a company, at the end also to convince the top management, that the customer experience discipline, other name that customer experience science, is important? And one of this topic is, why is top management support so important?
It's very important because customer experience is top-down approach. So for me, in my consulting work, I'll tell my clients, if you can't get an hour presentation to your CEO, I'm not taking this job. It's not going to work, because you can work for 6 months, you can come up with designs after design, solutions after solutions, and finally after 6 months, your finance CFO and CEO will tell me, you don't have budget, you're going to waste everybody's time, including my time. So it's top down, and that's one thing. And second thing, I will challenge the CEO that are you prepared to move from process-oriented organization to customer-centric organization? And that's first thing. Second thing, are you prepared to listen to your employees? If you are not prepared, don't embark in this journey. It's going to be very painful. And if you are with me, for this transformation, let's do this together. I'm here to support you. Then normally the CEOs, the moment they see the framework, they see the entire customer experience infinite loop, they know this is the missing piece in their business. Santha, when can I even have clients told me that the CEO said bypass all the tendering process, appoint Santha straight. That's how powerful the framework is.
And the big question that every listener now asks is, do you still have clients?
Oh yes, ongoing.
That's very nice, because I think it's also people start understand the importance of what we are discussing, of what we are doing, and not only you and me, but what the customer experience community is doing. And I think you touched one really interesting point, is the C-level. You mentioned the CEO, but also the C-level suite. It's often when they speak or they think about customer experience, they think about a new technological solution. And what is the role of technology in this customer-centric transformation?
Okay, technology is an enabler. It's an enabler. Of course, technology is taking the lead today in innovation, because a lot of tech companies are taking this. Yes, they have tremendous, fantastic solutions. But then the moment we mention the word customer, it's a human. We are human. So we have to look into the entire human experience. Let technology be the enabler to enhance the human experience, the interactions between customer and your employees. Stay focused on that.
Thank you. You mentioned earlier about the importance of the role of customer experience teams, that they need to have a good connection to all different departments, because customer experience is not delivered only by one department, but is delivered from the whole company, because at the end, a customer that contacts a company want to buy a product as a service request, they are always contacting the same entity. And there my question is, how do you have best practice or tips how to create alliances within the company in order to get support from all departments?
Okay, coming from consulting background, training background, consulting background, what I'll do, I'll tell the head of CX, customer experience head, to bring all the head of departments, the managers, the team leads for the workshop. So what I'll do, I will share the framework, 3 days, 4 days framework. During the framework, they will start to see how much they are working in silos. So as a department, I function well. I know my KPI, my work is perfect, fantastic, but I don't know what the other departments really doing. Off record, I know, but I don't know what are their challenges and everything. But when they sit together, do the end-to-end journey map, starts from marketing, market findings, sales, process, operation, the product development and everything. The head of the departments can see the gaps in the processes. So they know, okay, these are because of the gap in my department is causing pain to my customer, and also is causing so much of pain to another department. So once they see together as a team, straight away you can get the buy-in. Okay, so they will come together as a team. The unity is so important. Let's do this together. So that's how I break the silos, that I need all the heads to come together, including your legal, your finance, or your purchasing. The moment everybody sits in, they can see the bigger picture, that how much pain the customer is going through when they're dealing department after department after department in the organization.
Thank you, Santha. And I think this is one of the biggest issues or topics that we need to discuss, is these silos in the different departments. And here is where I always use the example of soccer teams, 11 players that play together. You have defenders, midfield players, you have strikers, but they have all the same target. In this case, is to win the game. And they are supporting each other in order to win the game. And if at some point in time, the team needs to defend, then also the strikers come back and help to defend. And if the team is attacking, also the defender try to support this attacking, trying to score a goal. And therefore, it totally makes sense that we shift the mindset into teams and to create value for the customer, instead of focusing on the different departments with their own targets. But I think we are getting a bit technical, and we are discussing already some details. And I know that there are a lot of customer experience fans that are starting, and they say, we are at the beginning of our journey. A lot of small, medium companies now understand that it's important, and they start doing that. Where should a customer experience professional start when we are speaking about introducing customer experience in a company? You mentioned that first of all is top management support, the CEO saying we want to do that, and what are the next steps?
Okay, first start with the top management, get the buy-in first. Second, start with your customers, start with research method. Come up with research, qualitative, quantitative research. Where are you now? Who are your customers? What are their pain points? Understand. 90% of my clients can't answer this question, who are your customers? They will tell everybody. I will tell no. Scale down your customers, segment your customers properly, create personas, then study your customers. You must understand what is so great about you. Second question they find it hard to answer is why us? I will put it bluntly, what is so great about you that I must buy your product and services when I can go to your competitor A or B? They'll find it hard to answer that question. So you need to be very clear on who are your customers and which of your customers' pain points are you solving. Second, why us? Why they must come to you? So when you get clarity on these two, then you can start to build the building blocks. So then we can start with the customer journey mapping. What's their experience of dealing with you pre-purchase, during purchase, and post-purchase. And also you have to be clear whether you are in the technology business, platform-based business, or you're a conventional or traditional business, because CX for these two sounds slightly different, especially if you're in face-to-face business, the approach is different. Online business is slightly different.
Thank you very much, Santha. Perhaps a lot of company or a lot of CX teams start with voice of the customer. And it's what you are saying in a bit different way. Perhaps what are also the first steps to set up really a proper voice of the customer solution? We're not speaking about which technology to select. You mentioned we need to understand the customer pain points, the customer gains, and speak with them. But how to do that?
Okay. I will always go to the marketing plan. Even before you speak about the voice of customer, do your customers profiling thoroughly, your competitors analysis, who are your competitors and everything. Then only you come into your business setting, establish your voice of customers. You can start with surveys, you can start talking to your customers, you can start with focus group. Bring a group of customers, buy them tea, coffee, some snacks, and they will start to talk. Because you must always understand that if they are still with you, they want to see you winning. They want to support you, and they want to see you doing well. Because as you scale up, you do better, it will benefit them better. So your customers will support you. So always start with your customers' voice, VOC, voice of customers program, and train your internal people, internal team. Train them to understand, to listen to your customer stories, and how to convert that stories into your customer journey map. Then from there, identify what are the pain points, you do root cause analysis, and we go into solutions. So establishing a voice of customers program is essential. But prior to that, understand who are your customers first. Are you marketing to the right customers? Even you can scale down, you can segment into, if you're B2B business, you can even segment to the big companies, the large companies, MNCs, public listed companies, then medium scale business, small businesses, and micro businesses. Normally in my experience, a lot of companies are struggling at identifying who are their actual customer. The biggest revenue will come from the big companies, but they will spend a lot of time with the small companies and the micro companies, because it's individually owned companies, and they will take a lot of your time with less revenue. So you must stay focused on where to. It's like taking a flight. They have first class, business class, and third class. The third class will be very demanding, whereby your actual money is coming from first class. So you have to know, you have to level up how to serve your customer. You can't serve everybody with the same level of service, but you have to scale according to their revenue stream.
Thank you, Santha. And based on what you're saying, then customer experience team start getting all the pains, and often there are a lot of pains, and therefore the question that it comes up is, now we know all the pains, we cannot solve them at all at the same time. How is it possible? Or do you have a best practice that you can share with us, where you can define a possible prioritization of this customer experience initiative to solve these customer pains?
Okay. If you're on the CX team, you have to show some immediate result to your management team, because management, when they're investing, getting the consultants in and everything, so they want to see some immediate result. Work on the low-hanging fruits, meaning bite-sized projects, simple projects, small projects. Start with that and start to get familiarized with changing your mindset, because we've been trained to be in engineering thinking. We think in boxes, we think in about processes, and most of the companies, the processes are designed to meet the minimum requirements for compliances, ISO or some government regulations or something. It's never customer centric. Now you're going to come out from that box and you're going to put your customer in the center of the design. You're going to design solution for them. Don't look at the entire elephant. Just break it up into bite-sized projects. Start with smaller projects, and you, as the CX team, you must get the confidence that, yeah, it can be done. And you have to sell this idea to the entire organization. It may take a while. Then let's see whether it adds value to our customer. Then start with this little projects with if almost no budget, then start with that first. Then slowly you have to show the result to your management. Then you can scale up to that higher cost projects.
Thank you very much, Santha. This was really an outstanding discussion, and also linked to what you said. We wanted to kick off the discussion within the CX Expert Asia community about all this topic on customer experience. And therefore, we start splitting the discussion on customer experience, or the elephant, in the first part. This is the first discussion that we have with a lot of questions. We are really keen to get your feedback, to kick off the discussion with you, to understand what you need. We are really happy if you would provide us feedback, and also send us your questions, because then we can discuss in the community and we can discuss together with Santha what are the best practices. And therefore, really thank you very much, Santha. It was an outstanding discussion, and also thank you very much to the audience, to the listeners, to people that watch to this video. It was a great pleasure. We hope that we provide to you some highlight, some goals, because I know watching a soccer game 90 minutes long at home can be also boring, because there are some highlights that we want to see, we want to watch, and we want to be there and have the attention about that. And this was exactly the idea that Santha and myself, we had, to provide you only the highlights. You don't need to skip through, because these are one question, a short answer. And we would really keen to get your feedback on these highlights. And thank you very much from my side. Santha, the last word to you.
Thank you very much. Stay tuned with Gregorio. We have fantastic speakers in the lineup, and hope this will pick up with our community very soon. Thank you to Gregorio. Thank you very much for offering your service to support CX Expert Asia with your podcast shows.
Thank you very much. A great pleasure.